And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, back in studio, helping you win in any marketplace. Brandon Rhymes here, your consumer advocate on the Consumer Quarterback Show. 5 o'clock drive time right here on 1380 The Biz. Weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. And we are now on Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku, 85 other outlets streaming as well. So you can find the show almost anywhere. Of course, follow us online on Instagram, at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show pages as well. We would love to connect with you. And most importantly, save our hotline number in your phone, because at some point you're going to need advice. Attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, home, commercial, business, all types of folks involved with this show. And we want to be your super connector. So save this number, 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number there, and you can call or text that line, 813-670-7372. And bookmark our website, consumerqb.com, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there, their contact information, website. You can reach out to them directly. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Scott Kepler back in the house. Mortgage Approval Group. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. Good to be here. Looking forward to having a good show and helping out the consumers out there.
Yes, sir. What are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk a little bit more about the renovation loan programs that are out there and how you can utilize those to either purchase the house of your dreams and make it the way you want, or to update the house that you're currently on.
Nice. Scott's going to show you the money. Kelly Oliver in the house as well. Business Loan Solutions. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. So happy to be back.
Yes.
I enjoy doing the show.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
We have fun. We help change lives in a lot of cases. You are doing some really cool stuff around the business loans.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So the business loans, we're doing debt financing, equity financing, like even if you're in a startup mode, there are ways for you to get the funding that it is that you need to make your dreams come true.
Nice. I love it. We're going to dive deeper into that with Kelly. Also making his debut to the show, Tom Gohn in the house, Seawall Advisory Network. Welcome in, Tom.
Hey, thanks, Brendan.
My pleasure. Give us a little overview of what you're going to talk about today, Tom.
Go into some of the seawall issues out there. We got some old concrete walls falling down, and go over a little bit of what an owner's representative does. Swan Seawall is the name of my company. It stands for Seawall Advisory Network, and we advise people on how to select the right general contractor for a job and go through the process from permits all the way through. It's kind of a lengthy process and can be confusing. We try to make that clear. And I'm also going to talk about a little bit of safety on the job, and we'll get into that a little bit too.
I like it. Yeah, it's got a really cool device that you've invented or put together. It's medical equipment. So we'll talk about that as well, and helping people in the medical side. So interesting, kind of a 1-2 punch combo you got there. All right, so as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Got a couple of hot listings we'll let you know about here. We got open houses going on this weekend as well. 1701 Mariner Way in Tarpon Springs. This is a great opportunity for a potential family to move into, maybe even an investor to buy it and rent it out. Beautiful home, 1701 Mariner Way. This is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, partially full, renovated property, 4.5 acres, or 4.49 acres rather, on a corner lot. And if you look at the beautiful photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks, you look at the drone photography, you are right on the bay there. Beautiful property, 1701 Mariner Way, Tarpon Springs, just a short walk, and you're over there hanging out, taking in some beautiful sunsets over the Dunedin area as well. We've got 1790 Bayshore Drive in Dunedin. This is a great opportunity as well for an investor, maybe a first-time buyer, someone that wants to have a great opportunity in a very popular area, Dunedin, Florida. Large backyard, and the owners are super motivated here. A couple of hot property listings. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. It's Brothers Easy Moving. And I'll tell you what, they moved my family, and it was a first-class experience. They did a great job. It all starts with the ownership. Gary Thacker does a great job over there, has a great team. And Brothers Easy Moving are very highly recommended from myself. Also, check them out online. Google. They hold a 4.6 rating. They have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, A rating on Angie's List, 4.5 rating on Yelp, and they've also won the Super Service Award multiple times. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, let's jump right into it. We've got a lot of knowledge here in the mortgage industry, decades of knowledge with Scott Kepler. And what do you see happening in the market right now? What's going on out there?
Right now, we're seeing a dip in interest rates, which has been great. It's helped families be able to maybe purchase a little bit more house than they anticipated initially if they got pre-approved a month ago. Also, seeing that lead to a kind of increase in applications for refinances, which is great because people can take advantage of the low rate and either remove that mortgage insurance because they've had some appreciation or do some debt consolidation. So it's opened up some opportunities for the actual homeowners there that want to kind of better their financial situation.
Yeah, it's a great time to do it if you're looking at that, looking at your overall bills. I remember, back in the day, we would go out and talk to people about, consolidating that debt. Because if they're paying 18, 22% on some of their different credit cards or installment loans, and you lump that into one low payment, people are going to save a lot of money.
Absolutely. And it's got to be for the right person. It depends on their long-term goals and what they're going to use that savings for. As long as they're headed in the right direction with what they're going to do with that money, whether it be invested or attack additional debt because they're gotten in over their head or something, then it may make sense to certainly do that. The key is to be disciplined with it, where you don't go back out and charge up all those credit cards. You just pay it off.
Yeah.
So you got to have a kind of a long-term outlook when you make that kind of decision.
Right.
But
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
can help you make that decision by breaking down the numbers and talking with you about your goals and how to allocate those funds appropriately so that you're making a good investment, not just digging yourself in deeper than you were in the first place.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Making sure you're utilizing those funds properly and, not using your house as an ATM machine.
Absolutely.
Too many people
that's
did
how
that.
you get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. So we're talking with Scott Kepler here, Mortgage Approval Group, local lender, support the local economy here in Tampa Bay. That's one of our big themes with the Consumer Quarterback Show. Scott, so you're also helping out veterans. You're doing conventional FHA, renovation loans, all types of different programs available.
Yeah, we do pretty much anything when it comes to residential real estate. Our I would say a majority of our business is a traditional home purchase. First time home buyers. We deal a lot with second home move ups, and then we deal with a lot of folks that are retiring to the area and coming down and need to help with how to transition properly so they're not trying to sell a house and buy a house and move all in the same day. So we can help them, get that arranged with the right financing.
Yeah, it's a great point. And here's another great point as well. Looking at an article I saw, it says, one more time, you do not need 20% down to buy a home. According to Barriers to Accessing Home Ownership study commissioned in partnership with the Urban Institute Down Payment Resource and Freddie Mac, 39% of non-homeowners and 30% of those who already own a home believe they need more than 20% down payment.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's one of the, the big myths out there. And a lot of people own homes don't realize that they can, refinance and utilize that equity for, purposes of making improvements to their home or, pulling cash out for other investments or whatever the case may be. But yeah, as far as home ownership, getting into a house, really you can do it with as little as 3% down. And then we've got some more aggressive programs with, FHA as far as, guidelines and credit are concerned with as little as 3.5% down. Mm-hmm. And of course the veterans, are fall under the VA home loans where they don't have to have any down payment. They can do a zero down.
100% financing for veterans.
Yep.
And we also rebate money back to any veteran out there, quarter to a half a point back to you at closing, whether you're on the buy side of the deal or the listing side. We're going to help the veterans. We really have a strong place in our heart for those folks. And there's ways also you can get creative, even if it is 3.5% down. Sometimes it can be families' funds or other people's funds,
Absolutely.
gift funds, and then also the realtor can put in seller concessions to help them as well.
Correct. Yeah, you can get concessions from the seller, from the realtor, that will go towards closing costs, which is a great way to reduce the amount of out-of-pocket expense that you have at closing, so that you can actually come out of pocket with just that 3% or that 3.5% without having to worry about another 2 to 3% in closing costs on top of that.
Right.
So yeah, we can get creative, and I like to break that down for my potential clients and the first-time home buyers especially, and show them, hey, it's affordable for you to be able to purchase a house as far as that upfront, money is concerned. And there's flexible routes you can go. You can get a gift from your parents. I've got a couple that I'm working with now that are getting married. They're setting up a separate account for the whole purpose of people who want to make a gift to them in cash or check,
right?
At their wedding, and that will go strictly towards their down payment. And so they set that up in advance. And from a lender side, it makes it easy to be able to verify all that money, because when it came in and what the purpose was for. And it's in a singular account where there's not transactions going back and forth.
I love that idea.
So,
GoFundMe.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. It's a GoFundMe, but you can take an old school check and still make it work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great stuff here. Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group, coming back as well. Kelly Oliver, we got Tom Gohn in the house. And when we come back, our feel-good story of the day coming up as well. One tweet changed everything for a new donut shop. Interesting story here on our feel-good segment coming at you. So stay with us. We're going to take a quick time out. We'll be right back after this short break.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort. The official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Bilmar Beach Resort, and it is filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. The Bilmar Beach Resort has been one of the most sought-after destinations in the Treasure Island area for years. And for those on quick business trips that add a little beachside pleasure to your family vacations, or even a staycation or a business trip, weddings, they have a lot of fun over there. They've got live music, 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's restaurant as well, and it's a great place to hang out. Bilmar Beach Resort, check them out. Give Clyde Smith, the general manager, a call. Let him know that Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we've got a great lineup today. Scott Kepler in the house, Mortgage Approval Group. Kelly Oliver as well, Business Loan Solutions. And coming up, we got Tom Gohn here, Seawall Advisory Network. So I want to jump into this with Kelly here. So Kelly Oliver, talking about business loan solutions. So, all these business owners, they work very hard to develop a business. Sometimes they're not unsure, well, they actually don't know what they don't know when it comes to financing.
Yes.
And then when it comes to time to sell the business as well, that's, it's all important. There's a lot of things that need to happen within a business.
Totally true. And, let's talk about some myth busting, since we're kind of jumping on Scott's segment.
I like it.
So the myth busting is everyone thinks that they actually have to have a down payment for their business, or to buy a business, or even to buy commercial real estate, which is in fact not true. They can actually borrow the money for the down payment, which is very, very different than residential. So as you are investing in your business, if you had an equity partner who came with you to put the 10% down, or 20% down, or 30% down, how much ever you're wanting to invest in the business, that can be looked at as a loan as well.
Interesting.
And so you're really virtually coming to the table with a really great idea. And I don't want to, it sounds really sexy to say, I'm just have to come with a great idea, and then I'll find this person with equity, and then I'll get the loan for the rest of it. While that is true, that can happen, the idea really needs to be pretty solid too. So
Right. Yeah, exactly. You got to vet the idea.
You got to vet the idea.
And that's been an interesting phenomenon over the last 4 or 5 years of Shark Tank and those types of investor pitches where they have that. So the idea is part of the game, but you got to have something to back it up in terms of, here's what I'm producing, here's what I'm showing. Investors want to see that.
They want to see that. Well, they want to know that you have a plan. The investors are never investing in the idea or the project or the product, right? They're investing in you.
Right.
And they want to know that you have the passion and the wherewithal and the
drive.
Yeah, the drive. It's not even about the smarts, right? Because
Yep.
really smart people will surround themselves with other really smart people,
Right.
Because they recognize that they don't know it all.
Exactly.
So when they go to the investors and they want to pitch their idea, any of those sharks that are sitting out there are not investing in that product. They're investing in you as the business owner and your kahunas to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a big part of it. And again, local business here, supporting the local economy. Kelly Oliver in studio, Business Loan Solutions.
Yeah.
And so give me an ideal client. Like, what would be a good example, maybe a success story or an ideal client of someone that's come to you and said, hey, here's what I need to do. I'm trying to grow my business, but I'm maybe just a little bit short on cash flow, or they have an opportunity that comes up. Give us something good there, Kelly.
We have so many success stories, which are fantastic. Nice. We have a group out of Kansas City who have gotten wind of a new deal where they can buy a bunch of apartment complexes. They are in tertiary markets, so they're not in the primary, secondary markets. They're able to go in and purchase these apartment complexes, and they're smaller. I mean, they're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 units in any one of them. But what they're creating is this repeatable process.
Yeah.
And their intention is to fix and flip each one of these apartment complexes. And we're starting with 2 of them this month. We'll have 5 next month, and we're going to be doing about 100 of them over the next year.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
So tell me about that deal. Like, how much money did they have to come to the table with? How much was financed? What kind of partners?
Oh, this is great. So what we were able to put together is on the first couple of them, so we found a lender who was willing to come to the table and put up 90% of the deal.
Wow.
So they only have to come to the table with 10%. And of course, the gentleman that I'm working with didn't have a full 10% to put down. So he was able to go and find someone else who has been there, done that, right? So who's flipped apartment complexes before. And the guy says, yes, I'll put the 10% in. So he's taken that 10% as a loan. Then using that as the down payment for the rest of the 90%, his input into the property for him personally is like 2%.
Wow.
And then they're going to fund the construction to do the renovation. So he's got that money set aside to do that. And then once we get a couple of these rocking and rolling, it becomes a process, right? That's
Wow.
just what we're looking for, is what's the repeatable process. We can do this over and over and over. And that's how you're going to build the wealth.
Yeah, I like that. That's a big one there.
Uh-huh.
And it's, one of the best, look at the economy as a general, real estate, and then you break down real estate into, residential. Of course, people need to live there. They got to have a house.
Yep.
But if you look at investment opportunities, man,
Yep.
apartment complexes are really strong.
They are very, very strong. Now, also take that and parlay that concept into your business.
Right.
In your business, you want to be looking for businesses that have, you can do the same, you can fix and flip a business, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I've heard
Makes
that.
sense,
Yep.
right? And if you get in and you can understand how the business works, what's missing in that business, you can acquire and purchase that business, do the turnaround,
Yep.
acquire a couple of similar type of businesses, and then turn around and sell that business for 3, 4, 5 times what it is that you actually invested in that business.
Yeah, that's interesting. And each industry is going to have different multipliers that are kind of standard norms in that industry, right?
That's correct.
Dry
That's
cleaner is going to
absolutely
be one thing. A lawn service might be a little bit different.
correct. And then we're really reaching outside the box today.
I love it. Let's stretch it a little bit here.
Exactly. So let's say you found an industry, you've acquired a couple of businesses that are similar in nature, and you said, this is a really great idea, you've landed on something. Then we can take and franchise that business out across the country. People will come in all day long, put $25,000 down to have a franchise person, you to teach them how to be a business owner.
Right. With all the systems in place. We've all heard the success story of McDonald's, and maybe saw that movie with the founder.
Yeah.
Interesting movie.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Exactly. So, for those people that are thinking about business from a very local perspective,
Right.
Open the box and
Yep.
take a look from a broader perspective, because if you're selling what people are needing, they need it everywhere in the country, not just here locally.
Right. Yeah, good point.
So how do you take what it is that you're doing, let's put some process around it, and then let's franchise that concept and that idea, and let's get you be a national company, a worldwide company.
Yeah, I love it. And you can also do a licensing deal instead of franchising. It's just a little bit different, very similar. It's just going to remove some of the potential legalities, is what I'm told, from different attorneys from that, what we looked at with the BGCA. But yeah, it's interesting, so helping business owners out there. So I guess a call to action then to some of our business owners, maybe they don't know what they don't know, Kelly, and we're thinking, hey, this sounds interesting, but will it work for me?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I would say call me.
Just reach out, find out.
Call me. Yeah, you don't know until you don't know. Right?
Consultations.
Yeah.
Free, sit down.
We will do a free consultation, a phone consultation. It usually takes about 20 minutes to 30 minutes to have a conversation to kind of give you some guidance about your idea.
Yep.
And then once you have some solid ideas of, new concepts, new ideas, then people start to get some confidence, and then they want to move forward. They want to move to the next direction. It's a natural progression. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Right.
You do occasionally run across people with some big ideas, and we're happy to talk about the big ideas, and we will also do some personal coaching.
Nice. It's kind of a built-in part of it.
It is. It's a natural piece of it, because what we don't want you to do is get out on the skinny branches and then not be able to perform because fear is in your way. So
Right.
we don't want the fear to be in your way.
Right.
Listen, if other people have done it, you can do it. You just need to get out there, stretch your muscles, stretch yourself, and get to the next level. I mean, you can do it. Like, you can do it.
Give us a call or text us 813-670-7372. Business Loan Solutions. Text the word business loan to 813-670-7372, and we'll put you in touch with Kelly Oliver and her team. They can meet with you, go over your options, your goals, and just kind of break it down for you, almost like a free coaching session. We said there, Kelly,
Absolutely.
built in. ConsumerQB.com as well. Go to the website, ConsumerQB.com. Just submit the email form. There's a contact form, and we'll put you right in touch with Kelly and her team at Business Loan Solutions here in Tampa Bay. So, yeah, some great stuff there, Kelly. Thanks so much. More from Kelly coming up in our lightning round. And in our next segment, we got Tom Gohn. He's Seawall Advisory Network. And we have our Feel Good segment coming up as well. One tweet changed everything for a new donut shop. Interesting story here coming out of our social media feed as well. So follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. We'd love to connect with you and talk about your business potentially on the show here. We have opportunities for that. ConsumerQB.com. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeave on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we've got a lot of good things happening in the marketplace. A little bit of a shift going on from a strong seller's market over to a buyer's market, but still good time to get into real estate. Lots of opportunities for you, whether you're buying, selling, investing. You know, if you're renting, you definitely want to get off that renting game and get into home ownership, build a better legacy for your family. Lots of opportunities out there. And we got a great team to help you navigate those rough waters, and we can help you with that. PlatinumMVPteam.com. A couple of hot listings here. 7911 Jackson Springs Road. This is in Tampa, Florida, kind of that town and country area by Memorial, Sheldon, Hillsborough. Just a great opportunity here. Very clean home, nice backyard, and partially upgraded and renovated throughout. 7911 Jackson Springs Road in Tampa, a great real estate property that we have listed. We got 165 23rd Avenue, St. Petersburg as well. This is an opportunity, single-family home in St. Pete, double lot, corner lot, in a great area just south of downtown, and it's a 7-minute walk to a beautiful park there in the historic world-class St. Petersburg, Florida. Just a great opportunity. Check out our website, PlatinumMVPteam.com. This segment is brought to you by WholeBodyFuel.com, the official meal delivery service of the Consumer Quarterback Show. WholeBodyFuel.com. Chef prepared by Chef Brian Adamo. Kevin and his whole team, they do a great job over there. Convenient, healthy, organic meals delivered directly to your home or office. And what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? You got to be eating healthy out there. And they got the world famous protein donuts as well. Excellent food. WholeBodyFuel.com. Check them out. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we're going to be over at the East Coast Consumer Show's home show, Spring 2019 Tampa Home and Garden Show. We're going to be there March 23rd and 24th. We've got a double booth set up. We're going to have a booth. We're inviting all of our partners to come out with us as well. Meet some of our show partners, our expert contributors. East Coast Consumer Shows, March 23rd and 24th, Tampa Convention Center, 333 South Franklin Street in Tampa. We will be there. Come by and say hello to our expert contributors and meet all of our team. Home Organizing Options is going to be there. I think Jay Smith, the Snoop Dogg, said he may stop by. A bunch of our expert contributors are going to go, so we'd love to have our expert contributors help us with that. All right, we're back here in studio. We've got Tom Gohn in the house, Seawall Advisory Network. And again, welcome to the show, Tom. Tell us a little bit more about this Seawall Advisory Network and why you started it.
Thanks, Brandon. A couple of years ago, a friend of mine in Bel Air came to me with issues with her seawall kind of deteriorating, and at the time I wasn't a seaward expert, and I've been in the medical field for some 30 years. I'm not a doctor. If I was, I'd have no patience. Thank you. Anyway, so what my job was in the last 30 years was design, build MRI imaging systems, suites, so to speak, with CTs, MRIs, cath labs, linear accelerators. It's a very complicated, involved process, but that also brings me to mention to Kelly that if we know anybody out there, realtors that are selling an imaging center, a chiropractor's office, a doctor's office, we do buy the equipment. We do look for people that are looking for opportunities to get in the business. So there's a huge business there.
Nice.
That company's Medot, MEDOT.net. So I kind of went into the process with Pam and over the what it takes to get a seawall fixed, and how do you find the right general contractor? Who do you pick? There's a lot of people out there to choose from. It's a huge market. But after a successful couple weeks working at it, we developed a plan, got the permit process going, and we hired a general contractor and finished a seawall and solved her problem from deteriorating erosion of her property.
And that's important because a lot of times, the homeowners, they don't do this but once in their lifetime.
Right.
And these contractors out there, they do these every day, every week. So they know some of the tips and tricks on the opposite side there to maximize the deal. So you're coming in as an owner's rep. You're kind of holding the owner's hand and saying, here's what we want to look out for. Let's get multiple quotes. Let's make sure you get a good deal at the right price.
I'm like a real estate agent in a lot of ways. I mean,
right.
A seawall is often literally the only thing lying between your property and open water. Mm-hmm. And failure of this protective structure can be devastating. Your home, swimming pool, plumbing, irrigation systems, driveways, sidewalks, gardens, and patios, etc., can all be affected. Many people think of a hurricane and a constant wave of action as the main enemy of seawalls. I have to tell you that it is important to remember that the less obvious factor can be just as destructive of erosion and rusting of these seawalls. So when you see sinkholes and you see rusting, or what they call bleeding on the cap, you see cracking in the, you've got problems. These walls are 50 years old.
Right.
I don't care if you're in Cucamonga, California, or you're in Oregon, or you're across the country here in Florida. Your walls are falling down and they have to be repaired, and if it's serious. And they can be produced, finished cost effectively, but it just takes some planning and finding the right people to help you do the job.
Yeah, a lot of the seawalls are aging, as you mentioned. A lot of the seawalls. By the way, if you just joined us, Brandon Rhymes here. I'm talking with Tom Gohn, and he's representing Seawall Advisory Network, and he's also got a medical company as well, medot.net as well. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But with the seawall, a lot of them are very old, and they're at a point where they need to be replaced, and that's important for real estate agents to really recognize that as well. Talk us a little bit about that.
Well, I'll come in as an owner's rep. I do represent the owner specifically, and that's my priority. We meet with the owner. We assess the general scope of the project. We obtain the engineer's report, drawings, details that are needed. We just assist in securing all the proper bids so we can make an educated, informed decision. We most recently finished a job in Largo where the road was actually deteriorating next to a creek, so we needed a retaining wall to secure the wall because emergency vehicles couldn't even go down the road because of the fear that the road would give in.
Wow.
So we just finished this project off 24th and 8th Street, and everybody's happy with it. It took almost a year through the process and everything going on, but it just takes time, and we got it done, and we probably saved them $30,000 over the original bid.
Yeah, that's important, man. Yeah, it's a very important part of the process of the real estate is having those barriers, having that barrier from the water, rushing up. And I've seen some where the seawall's kind of down in one spot, and it just it's kind of like washing out. Is there ability, or does that have an ability to influence a potential sinkhole in the middle of that lot, like a depression? Like somehow would it feed in the back there?
It can feed back.
I thought about that.
You'll see. In fact, I think maybe your property probably. Best solution might be, because I know you're on the water, would be like a riprap down there, which is just rocks poured into the line of your property. Would probably help you immensely.
Yeah,
you don't have to construct a big seawall or anything like that.
Right.
There are cost-effective ways to get it done.
All right, so Tom, you also have an interest in safety on the job. Tell us about some of your passions around the safety and job safety, and what you're doing with that device as well.
Everybody here knows CPR. Can I have a hand? Oh, good. Full house. That's awesome. Anybody across this country. That's fun. One thing we find that a lot of people don't know CPR and the value of how important to know CPR and where your AED is. We have right here, this is an AED. It basically is something that can save a life. And what happened to me 5 years ago is I had a flat line. I was in Tallahassee, Florida on a medical job, and I flatlined at home. I came home, and I was saved by CPR, an aspirin put under my tongue. Wow. And the defibrillator. The CPR was done on my chest for 15 minutes. And when I got to the hospital, they figured my brain was dead. And in all rights, it probably should have been. To this day, we're still questioning it. But anyway, we did survive, and I got a stent in me, and 6 years later, knock on wood, I'm in great shape. But everybody needs to know the value of an aspirin, CPR, and how simple these AEDs are to work.
Performing battery tests.
First thing it's going to ask the battery test is going to check and make sure your battery works. These things talk to you. They're great. Once
canceled.
I just canceled it.
Missing.
They're missing the pads. It wants the pads in. It's going to talk you all the way through the whole process. It's a no-brainer as far as there's no problem. Trying to save somebody's life. The Good Samaritan law will protect you. Right now, I'm interested in promoting this aspirin, CPR, and AED values, and I have this called Aspirin Lifesaver, which is it's a product that have on GoFundMe. I'm raising money to get the product out, get it national, where everybody would carry an aspirin with them, and the knowledge of a CPR and AED, and that knowledge is something that has to be expanded. So GoFundMe, if you would go to that and see Aspirin Lifesaver, you will see a chance to be a sponsor in this. Passion that I have.
Aspirin Lifesaver, that's really cool. And AED is short for what, Tom?
Automatic external defibrillator.
Defibrillator. So it's a defibrillator that,
Follow
and every
instructions
business
to
should have
apply
one.
tab.
Is what you've told me before. Every business should have one. It should be in the lobby.
It should be mandatory. OSHA it says that you have to know CPR. It's mandatory, but they don't push the fact that you have to have an AED there, which I think every business should have one. And it surprises me how many people don't even know what an AED is, or you go to a sporting event.
Right, and it's crazy to think just a small aspirin under the tongue can actually change it.
Stops the clotting in your blood.
Wow,
that's a lifesaver right there. And you go to your doctor. There's been some question about how valuable an aspirin is, but cardiologists will tell you aspirin is a good thing.
Wow. All right, stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More from Tom Gohn, Scott Kepler, Kelly Oliver in our lightning round as well. We have our feel-good story coming up. One tweet changed everything for a new donut shop. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our experts coming up right after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Hot listing on Clearwater Beach. Check out this property now, 207 Coronado Drive in Clearwater Beach. This is gorgeous property. It's a great opportunity. It's for a business owner, developer, entrepreneur, somebody that's looking to buy a piece of the best beach in the world. Right across the street from the Wyndham Grand. The Hyatt is adjacent as well, and it's right across the street from the Clearwater Beach the Pier 60, the Intercoastal Waterway. I mean, it's just a gorgeous opportunity. It's a small lot, but it's, there's a lot of potential there. Could be a great liquor store, fast food, could build a multi-story complex. I mean, it could be a lot of opportunity there. 207 Coronado Drive, and that's on beautiful Clearwater Beach in beautiful Clearwater, Florida. All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our Feel Good segment of the day. One tweet changed everything for a donut shop in our Feel Good segment. Tell me something good. All right, so the tweet was in Missouri City, Texas. One tweet changed everything for a new donut shop. Bill By shared some photos on Twitter of his dad in an empty store and an empty parking lot. So the tweet generated more than 550,000 likes, 258,000 retweets. And Billy posted an update the next day thanking everyone for supporting his family. I just wanted to update you all. We completely sold out of donuts, and you all are amazing. I can't thank you enough for coming out and supporting local businesses. This means so much to my family. So interesting story there in our Feel Good segment of the day, telling you something positive here, mixing it up from the sometimes negative news cycle out there that we have in our mainstream media. All right, let's jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. We're going to start right here with Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group.
Thanks, Brandon. My parting words of wisdom, I guess, would be if you're not sure about something, reach out to one of the expert people on the panel and talk to them. If you're not sure if you can buy a house, or you're not sure if you can utilize the equity in your property to potentially refinance your property, reach out to me, and if there's something business related, then keep it going and talk with Kelly.
That's right. Lots of opportunity out there, that's for sure. Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions.
Yes. So my lightning round thing, we always talk about clients and businesses. I'm going to just shift it a little bit. Let's talk about the investor. When you are ready to invest in other people, when you're sitting on some money, you want to do some good with that money, and you want to have that money make more money. This is the place to call, because we have opportunities for investors to come in and get on the ground floor of some amazing future billion-dollar businesses that are coming, and we're the conduit to make that happen. So it's an invitation for the investors to make a phone call.
Yeah, and the one thing that's constant is change. Change is constant.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be movement in every market.
Yeah.
And it's going to be shifting from spring, summer, winter, fall. It's always shifting. So you got to be prepared for that. A lot of people talking about being prepared for winter right now.
Yeah.
With the real estate market, different types of markets, you look at that. Scale back your expenses. There's some things you can do when it comes to that. But let's get Tom's parting words of wisdom. Tom Gohn, Seawall Advisory Network. Give us some top tips or nuggets of advice, Tom.
SwanSeawall.net is probably a good place to go if you need some help on analyzing your seawall. But most importantly, right now, I really have a passion about my Aspen Lifesaver, and I need your support at GoFundMe page. It's Aspen Lifesaver. You get a little keychain. It's a keychain on your keychain. You get an aspirin enclosed here, and any other vital medicine pills you might need to always have at your hands in case of an emergency. But I really need your support on GoFundMe, Aspirin Lifesaver. I only have a few people that have acknowledged it, and I think it's a life-saving product that could be out there and help me spread healthy hearts, which is what we all need in a lifestyle.
Yeah, especially someone that's predisposed to that, that has high cholesterol or high blood pressure. That would be, a game changer for someone and everybody in their network to know that. Their family, of course,
right.
Let them know that, hey, I've got this on my keychain. If I do happen to pass out or go down, grab the thing, put an aspirin under your tongue. It saved my life.
And also you can put your name and logo could be on the back of it, so you can also sponsor and promote your company as well. So it's a win-win for both of us.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Help save a life.
It is. It's a great point. So, all of our expert contributors, again, the goal of this show is to bring everybody together here and be a consumer advocate. We talk a lot about Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida, but we can help you. A lot of our companies can do business nationwide or sometimes even worldwide. So, please reach out. We'd love to connect with you. 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number, 813-670-7372. And I want to kind of switch back to the real estate talk here, Scott. We've got, an interesting story here. It says, do you know how much your home value has increased in value? How much your home value has increased. And it's interesting, last year we saw headlines about possible housing market bubble and many wondering if they still felt confident that their home's value, about the value of the home. So here's an interesting study from Hazoo and Home Study revealed homeowners with mortgages have seen their equity more than double since 2011, increasing to a record-setting $8.3 trillion in 2017. Interesting.
Wow. That's great. I mean, I know a lot of the markets in our immediate area. When you break it down, not just Tampa Bay market, but in some of the little the sub neighborhoods and such have seen double digit increases over the last couple of years, and that's fantastic. I mean, if you think about it, if you paid $200,000 for a house and you got a double digit increase at say 10%, now that house is worth $220, and then you start doing that year over year, the next year is $242, and that's where you're building wealth by just investing in yourself and in your real estate.
That's right.
By owning a home of your own, and you're just continuing to make that payment, and that balance goes down. But what you don't think about is that your house isn't worth what you paid for it; it's worth more.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
will we see a correction where that kind of levels off and you're not getting that kind of aggressive return year over year? Of course we're going to. In a healthy market, we're going to see somewhere between 3 and 5%, increase from one year to the next.
Yep.
But shoot, if you think about it, at 200,000, even at a 3%, that's 206,000 the next year.
Right, 3%, 4%. That's a good healthy move, right?
Exactly.
There. That's a healthy move. And here's another stat. It says the average homeowner gained $16,200 in home equity between Q2 2017 and Q2 2018, according to the latest release of CoreLogic's Home Equity Report. So again,
right.
same theme there. So let's kind of talk a little bit about here in the final minutes of the show about renters. Because I think the renters out there are really missing the boat, and it may not be you, it may be someone that you know or love, but this is something where we really want to beat that drum right now and let everybody hear and understand that rates are still low. Pricing is still relatively low.
Right.
It's a great time to get into your own home, build a legacy for your family, and it's really super easy to see it when you compare it on a spreadsheet.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at the numbers as far as how much you have to have down and the creative ways that we can help with the down payment or closing costs, and the amount that you're spending on rent, having at least a little bit of that go towards a principal balance, but then you talk about that equity increase, that appreciation that you're getting from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it becomes a big factor. And, with that in mind, I think, Kelly would be able to say, but same thing goes for a business owner. If you're renting a property,
right,
it might be a great time to buy something.
Exactly. It sure would. Yeah, build that legacy for your family, build the legacy for your business, have something concrete to pass down. When you're selling that business, you have the assets, the bricks and mortar, plus the goodwill and going concern of the business, plus the accounts receivable of the business.
It could be a separate business, just owning that, if commercial real estate or residential real estate, that can be a separate business in itself.
Great point, because that's what the founder did. That's what McDonald's did. That was his trick. He bought the land, right? And then leased it out to all the franchises, and then he's the biggest land developer in the country at some point.
Right, and they're not going to make any more land.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's going to continue to go up in value.
Well, Elon
no matter
might
where
sell
it's
us
at.
something on Mars, though. Who knows?
Hey, you know,
Yeah.
I hope he does.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, it's an interesting world we live in, interesting times, and it's a great opportunity. There's so much opportunity out there. That's why we really kind of beat that drum about renters. Plus when you look at a legal standpoint, your primary residence, that's protected from all creditors.
Right.
So that's why you see like O.J. Simpson. Everybody knows what he did, but he in the civil case he had charges against him, and then he put everything under his homestead in Miami. I think it was Coral Gables that he had his homestead.
Yeah.
So that's why you see a lot of these people have the big homesteads. But there's rules out there, there's regulations, there's laws, there's ways that you can play the game, and that's what we want to help you do here, make you just a bit more street smart on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Over almost 6 years on air now, we've been helping people, callers just like you, listeners, viewers of our TV show on Amazon TV now, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, lots of ways that we connect, and consumerqb.com, that's your number one resource. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need. I want to thank Scott Kepler, Kelly Oliver, and Thomas Gohn for coming into the show today and doing a great job here and educating our listeners out there. Please go out there and make it a great day, and we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.